Hey guys, welcome back to Bros Bomb Bologna. It's just like ESPN, but with better takes and analysis. So let me introduce you to my bros. Next to me, you have Pistachio. He is our Power Five insider and our March Madness expert. Below him, you have ZA, our money man and our betting extraordinaire. Next to him, you have Miles, our semi pro golfer. And then there's me. I'm just a coach who loves all sports. We're here to talk ball and kind of entertain y'all in the process. So let's start with the NBA. We're getting closer to the playoffs. The NBA is starting to get more excited or exciting. First, we're going to talk about the 76ers. At the time, the number one seed in the East, and you'll see why I say at the time in a second, against the number one seed in the West, the Phoenix Suns. It was a hell of a game. Stars came to play. Devin Booker went for 35 on 59% shooting. Embiid went for 37 on 52% with 15 rebounds. I think those are honestly the two probably best teams in the NBA right now. You know, the Nets are hot, then they're not, hot and not. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think the 76ers are pretty high right now, and them picking up Harden really kind of helped that. Gave Joel Embiid another player to actually, feed to, or just take a little stress off his shoulders, since he's really the only dominant player on that team.
I like the Celtics. I think the Celtics are the team right now in the East that I think is going to have a chance to win.
I tell you, Jaylen Brown, they combined him and Tatum combined for 65 last night. Those two are a hell of a duo. But the reason I'm going to go with Pistachio, I think the 76ers have the edge just because of the size. You know, you got Williams for the Celtics, who's a good defender, but Embiid's a different animal. But I think the Celtics are definitely going to give them a run for their money, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a preview of a championship, I believe. I think I both of them going all the way. I think there's a team that we're not talking about right now, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies. They're going 17-2 without Morant, which is fascinating to me because I think Ja is an MVP candidate this year. I loved watching play. But yeah, I think it just shows that flashy guards are less valuable than a point guard like Chris Paul, with the Suns. So I think the Grizzlies are something to pay attention to as well. 17-2 without Morant this year. But yeah, I think the Sixers right now and the Suns are looking pretty solid. So
Yeah, and I said at the time because the entire East is pretty close. Right now, as of today, the Celtics and the Heat. Oh, the Heat are stumbling though. Are tied atop number one, and the Bucks and the Eagles, the Bucks and the 76ers are half a game back. So what's nuts is 1 and 2 are tied right now in the East, and there's only 9.5 games between them and number 10. When you go to the West, the Suns, even when they lost Chris Paul for that stretch, though, they still kept it hot. They are 9 games in front of the Grizzlies, who's in second place, and 29.5 games in front of the 10th place Lakers. Like, the Suns have completely separated themselves from the pack during the regular season. Now, a 7-game series with LeBron or a 7-game series with, any of those guys is a totally different story. But, man, they have definitely set themselves apart. And Devin Booker, he does not get enough appreciation, I think. You get Embiid, the Joker, all them big guys thrown in for MVP, and Booker just keeps getting overlooked. And John Moran actually pointed it out on Twitter the other day about them overlooking Booker. But
yeah, absolutely. But I think the Celtics, they don't get enough credit either. I think whenever Danny Ainge left, and then they had Brad Stevens move up to the top office, and I've really counted them out, and they're going on a great skid right now. They're a team to be reckoned with, man. They took the spot over the Heat.
They got hot at the right time. They're definitely a perfect example of that. And that's all the NBA is streaks. But let's go ahead. Let's get to golf. Miles, our semi-pro. What do we got in the golf world this week?
This week, about the only thing new we have is Scottie Scheffler wins his 3rd tournament in his last 5, the WGC Dell Technologies match play, and he becomes the number 1 golfer in the world at the young age of 25. He's only the sixth player ever to reach the number one ranking in the world before being 26 years old. He said it still hadn't really sank in yet. He said he wouldn't believe he was number one in the world until he saw it on the official rankings list, which I'm sure he saw that this morning. These last 3 weeks, last 6 weeks, he's also won 3 times, earned $7 million, and being number 14 in the world to number 1.
At 25, what would you do with $7 million at 25, Coach? What would you do?
2 chicks at the same time. I figure that kind of money, 2 chicks probably go for it with a guy like me. Office Space.
They definitely would.
Yeah, Office Space if you didn't know.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, he won that match, and you sent it to me. We were talking about it, the moment with his dad. I'm gonna go ahead and let that play real quick. Awesome moment. Here we go.
I love you, Scott. I'm more proud of who you are than your
As a parent, you can't be prouder of your kid for anything they do than you would think be the number one golfer in the world. Remember that, baby. But I guess it's not just about that, and that's just an awesome moment. I can say if I do ever get that shot, my dad, he'll be walking the sideline for sure. If he gets too close, brother Rono gonna have to say a prayer to cover my foul language, but I know he'll be there, and that's what it's about. That's awesome right there, the family there.
Yeah, that was really great. I really like that. Out of all the things you could say to your kid after they won something like that it really had nothing to do with the golf. It was just about them as a person.
Awesome. So let's move into the
Tiger alert.
Tiger.
Whoop, whoop. Tiger Woods has been spotted multiple times in this past week, guys, at his home course, the Medalist, walking the golf course, playing golf with his caddy, Joe LaCava. What does this mean for the Masters in 2 weeks? Is Tiger playing?
Oh, I hope so. My God, you got me freaking out. I didn't know that, man. I'm tripping right now. I hope.
He's gonna play, and my God, he's gonna win.
That would be the coolest shit ever.
Dude, let's go. Tiger alert. Woo, woo. Love it, man. Yes.
Golf.
We have another one next week.
Golf always better when Tiger's good on top.
Amazing, man.
But
Valero, Texas Open next week. Roy McIlroy is the favorite.
McIlroy. Let's move to the NFL now. Always changing. Slow week, big week at the beginning. Actually, like right after we did last week's show, Tyreek Hill says deuces to the Chiefs and finds himself a Dolphin. Not only is he a Dolphin, but he is a 4-year, $120 million Dolphin. ZA, how happy are you?
Ecstatic, man. We've got the most dangerous weapon in the NFL now on our team. Blown away when I first got the news. I didn't believe it. I thought I was being punked by my buddy that texted me. Insane news. I think Mike McDaniel is going to be a great coach for that because, as we know, our quarterback situation is not the best, and we're going to be a run-first team. I really still believe that, but now we have Tyreek and Waddle to do these bubble screens, these quick catches, and as we know, he's the most dangerous guy after the catch. So I think it's gonna work out good for us. We got a top tight end as well, and man, I'm excited to see him roll. Man, let's go! 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL on each side of Tua doing bubble screens.
So here's the thing: they gave up a first, a second, and a fourth this year, and a fourth and sixth next year. That's a lot for a receiver. Now, granted, you mentioned his speed. The players to have 20-mile-per-hour touches in like the past 2 seasons, he has like 25. Derrick Henry's just next closest with an 8. Like, he is a human joystick, and I've never seen someone accelerate so fast that I've ever seen Tyreek Hill.
Oh, for sure. And I'm right there with the LA Rams, man. F those picks. I've never believed in keeping draft picks unless you're just in a full rebuild. If you're not in a rebuild, I think you get rid of all those draft picks. You get experienced talent that's out there and you go for it, man. So I ain't worried one bit about those picks. Let's go. It's a weak draft anyways this year. Great time to get rid of them. So.
Yeah, great for you, ZA. That's what I was going to say. That's right here in my notes. At the beginning, it says, congrats, ZA. Sadly, no more 50-yard bombs to the cheetah.
So, hey, let me throw this out here before we get on that part. The Dolphins offense right now, Tyreek Hill, 4.2940. Jalen Waddle, 4.3740. Devontae Parker, a slow 4.45. Lynn Bowden still sitting there with a 4.46. Tight end Mike Gesicki, 4.54. Running back Chase Edmonds, 4.55. And stealing my Niner, Raheem Mostert, a 4.32. You were sitting there with might be the fastest team in NFL history. And you have Tua riding the ship. All right. Now, I agree. Mike McDaniels is going to be a great coach. He's going to set you up with so many different formations in so many ways. But like Miles said, man, there's no more scrambles and chuck it 65 yards down the field and let Tyreek Hill go get it. There is now Tyreek Hill, come back 20 yards and let me get you the ball, and then you go make a play. But
don't forget, he had the greatest arm coming out of college. He just forgot it somehow in the NFL. But if he can somehow remember it,
he didn't. He had one busted coverage by Georgia that created the Tua train that everybody hopped on because he had 4 first-round picks catching the ball for him.
I wanted Herbert. I called you. I told the story multiple times. I cried on draft night. I said, I want Herbert. We took Tua. I was like, anybody but Tua. Could you imagine this team with Herbert right now? Oh, my God, man.
Dude, I tell you
Herbert's
what. One thing, the Jaguars started this, and now the Raiders and the Dolphins have hopped on it and have paid receivers. Devontae's 28.5. Tyreek's $30 million a year. Now you've got DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Deebo Samuel sitting there saying, "Where is my money?" Because they're the next draft or the next one's up. And as a Niners fan, fuck you, because our best option right now is to trade Deebo Samuels. All right. And I love Deebo, but you have Nick Bosa coming up to get signed, and you got to pay Nick Bosa before you do Deebo. Kyle Shanahan can create a new Deebo. You get Tebow to replace Deebo, and you're good. Anyways, I think I don't want to trade Deebo, but if he's gonna be, I want $30 million a year. The Jets, looking for that big play receiver. If you can trade Deebo for that number 8 pick, or maybe another 8 in a second or 2 seconds, whatever, you can go get, Garrett Wilson early. If it's a later pick, you get Jamison Williams, who's going to be late because of his ACL, but should be a top draft pick. Or you go get Trey Burke, who is a very similar Deebo, just bigger and slower. And the reason you keep those draft picks is when these stars want $30 million, you can have that draft pick sitting at 10 for 4 years, and that opens your window. And honestly, that's, I think, one of the biggest things in the NFL is having a young quarterback succeed early, because you're only paying him $10-15 million compared to 25 to 45 now, and you can have a good team around him. But I'm sorry, I'll get off my pedestal on that.
Have you guys heard the NFL rumor alert about DK? Yeah, I heard he wants out of Seattle. He's looking for a star receiver right now, Pistachio. Who's looking for a star receiver?
Yeah.
Rodgers, baby. Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
You imagine that.
I don't think so. Listen, DK is great, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers will deal with the antics and the hair and the cutoffs. He wants someone like Devontae Adams who's going to come in there, shut his mouth, not be in the news, and work.
Shit, he needs somebody. Shit, no, he don't have anybody.
It's, even lost Valdez
Yeah.
Scantling.
Can't be picky.
Yeah, it's Julio. No one still picked up Julio, huh?
No. So talking about free agents, all right, let's go through a list of some big names who just signed. All right, let's start. I think this is a big name. No one else is going to think this is a big name. But O.J. Howard signs a 1-year, $1 million deal with the Bills. I think that is a perfect fit. The Bills do a lot of that wing, short passes to that tight end. And O.J. Howard is a freak athlete who Nick Saban didn't use right. And Gronk came in and took over, and he never got his chance. So I think that is a great pickup, guys. Anybody else agree with me?
Yeah, definitely huge under the radar, kind of a steal. I mean, especially on the Bills, man. You got Josh Allen who can distribute the ball and get anywhere. I mean, definitely great.
Bodied athlete. So yeah, that's a pickup because they needed to get a guy like that.
So another good pickup. The Dolphins coming in again hot. All right, they get Taron Armstead, great tackle, protecting Tua for him to dump it to the left for 2 yards. 5 years, $75 million, stealing from
the out the ass. Man, they're paying him a lot of money. The Bengals got 3 solid offensive linemen for the same amount.
Oh, yeah.
Damn near the same amount of guaranteed money for that one player that the Dolphins spent on him.
Agreed. But here's the thing. What did they just say? The Dolphins are in it to try to win that shit. They don't care about what the Bills did.
Tua throwing the ball, though, man. You got Tua.
That is what Mike McDaniels is there for.
Play action and then catch it once or twice, baby.
I'm not saying Tua's a bad athlete. I think he's a good college or a good NFL quarterback.
Put Waddle in the backfield, put Hill in the backfield, send him in motion, throw him the bubble, hand it off to him, and then bench to his ass and put Bridgewater in and throw the football.
I think Kenny's a better starter than he is.
Agreed. So moving on, Tyreek Hill, the speed is gone, but Kansas City turns around, signs Marquise Valdez-Scantling for 3 year, $30 million. Okay, another speedster steals in from Rodgers. He isn't Tyreek Hill fast. There isn't another one like it, but does he replace him enough for the Chiefs to keep going?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
No, probably not. Yeah,
I honestly think the Chiefs are kind of going to be phased out. I think the Bengals are starting to take over. You got the Bills up there. You know, I think the Chiefs are starting to be done.
So here's 2 things I think is just going to add to that. One, Patrick Mahomes is not on his rookie contract anymore. Ching, bring that back. But 2, you don't have to double team Tyreek Hill. You don't have to play 20 yards off. You're going to see bracket coverages on Travis Kelce. All right, he's not going to get a one-on-one for the rest of the year, for all next year. If he goes in, the linebacker out, the safety, whatever they're going to do, and they're going to have to run the football. And that's not what Andy Reid wants to do, but they did. Ronald Jones isn't a big name. I didn't put him on here, but he's another pickup. They're going to have a backfield by committee, and they're going to have to change their entire offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've definitely got 2 points here. First off, I'm going to take Valdez-Scantling in the late rounds of fantasy next year, just saying. But and then second off, Pistachio, you brought up a good point. I want to talk to you about it. Where do you see the Chiefs at now in the AFC West? I mean, are they 2, 3? Are they last now in the AFC West? Just because of that? Where do you see them at?
Oh no, yeah, I don't see him dead last. So I see him, in the middle, closer to the bottom though.
Yeah,
I see them at 2 to 3. 2 to 3, because I think the Chargers are 1, and I think the Chiefs and Broncos fight it out for 2, and then I think the Raiders come trailing. I
don't know, man. The Raiders are going to be solid next year, I think.
The Raiders. Here's the only thing is they got the rushers, but their defense isn't a stack. They don't have that standout DB that I can think of who's going to make the play.
I would say they don't have that standout player on defense, really. That,
I mean, you got the ends. You got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, but
they just signed Max Crosby to that extension. So,
yeah,
they don't really have the good DBs that they need.
It's crazy whenever you say the Raiders
offense.
are the worst team, right? That's wild to think about. 'Cause I see them as like a top 10 to 15 team in the league. It's
Right? Yeah, I would say I think they're a good team. Like I think they're gonna be really good next year.
I think the Raiders are the biggest wild card. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
either going to be 7-10 overhyped, or they may be 14-3 and, you know, play hell of ball. It depends. And so moving out of that tough monster division, let's move now to the NFC North. The Vikings just signed Zadarius Smith from the Packers, 3-year, $42 million for a good edge rusher. You know, the Vikings have some pieces, but ZA, you called them to win the division.
I still feel that. I do.
I think they're up for it. I think they're going to give the Packers a better run than they've had in the past couple of years, but it's all going to fall back on Kirk Cousins. I think that's going to be big show Kirk, you know, see what he can do in the big games. So it's a
free agent.
contract year for him. So he's got to play good.
And you think they re-sign him next year?
Depends on how it goes.
Yeah, it depends on how it goes. There's a good draft coming up.
Yeah, if you're in the bottom 5, you letting him walk and you're trying to get freaking CJ Stroud or Bryce Young 100%. But if you're 22, does he want Patrick Mahomes money, or is he realistic? He's going to take $30 million again, like, you know. So quarterbacks getting a chance. Marcus Mariota is now an Atlanta Falcon. Not really perfect on his contract because a lot of it's incentives, but 2-year, $20 million.
Do we think he starts?
Nothing but a bridge. Nothing but a bridge right here.
Yeah.
I think he's a bridge for this year, and they're going to be in the bottom, and they're going to go get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, like I was just talking about. That is 100% the plan, I think, here.
But do you think
he's leading a sinking ship?
Yeah, but do you think he starts the next 2 years there?
Or at least this year.
Starts this year for sure. Yeah. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback this year. There's not. I mean, I don't know what their pick is. So I don't think they're going to reach or anything. But
it's
they're
not
in
a
full
good year for quarterbacks.
So I think Mariota starts.
Yeah, I think you take this year off from quarterback because it's not a good year for quarterbacks.
And the quarterbacks are real hit and miss because Malik Willis has all the physical tools, but how's he going to compete? You know, he played at Liberty, not in the Power 5. Kenny Pickett played in a pass-happy system, you know, can throw the football, but is smaller. He has small hands, so they better stay away from him. And then Matt Corral's injured. That I think his biggest thing, because I think if he's in the right system, he's the best quarterback in the draft. But
I know you spoke on draft a little bit, so I know you heard the Jags come out today and said they don't know who they're going to take with the first pick. They're actually looking at that D lineman from Georgia. I think is a huge smokescreen trying to get some sort of value for that pick or something. I don't know what they're trying to do, but there's no way they take him with the first pick.
I think there is way because
I think a good pickup for them. I feel like
he tested outstanding at the combine, just physical tools. And the NFL cares about what you can do, not what you have done. Like, because if they cared about what you're going to done, it'd be Jordan Davis would be their first pick because he's the one who made the biggest impact for Georgia. But he has all the tools to become an elite pass rusher and beat people off the edge. And, you know,
that's 40 pounds running a 4.5 40. Like what?
Right. Like it's all about potential. And I hate that, but it's what it is, man. So talk about full of potential. Jameis Winston. He's got his 4K vision. He's got it fixed. He's got the surgery. He's getting better. He's eating W's. W's and crab legs, baby.
Publix for life.
Jameis does. But
I can't believe that motherfucker's still in the league, dude. Honestly.
I'm telling you, he is the most hit and miss. When he is on,
he's on.
If his arm, when he is on, is as good as anybody's. But when he's off, he is so garbage when he's off.
He's like, when he's off, he's like Jamarcus Russell, bro. He is fucking bad.
And here's the
He
thing.
can throw 30 picks a year.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, dude. He don't give a fuck, dude. He will chuck the shit out of it.
He don't give a
And-
shit.
Oh yeah.
He can't fucking read, bro. Stats don't even mean shit to him.
Oh well, he is now a 2-year, $28 million more than we're all gonna make in our life, and you know, good for him.
So I just love it. It's his best year. I swear to you, if you take the interceptions out, like you just do like a blind resume, you look at his best year. He had like 5,109 yards. He had 33 touchdowns, and so you just think of that, you're like, man, what a stud!
Yeah,
Who is that?
and 32 picks.
He had 30 interceptions.
Listen,
Yeah.
because I've had this theory before. If you got 4 downs, if you throw a fade or a go route all 4 times, you just got to complete it once. That's 25%, and you're going to gain 45 yards. And he lives by that mantra.
He had 626 attempts that year. That was like one of the most ever in the history of football.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And y'all thought,
Insane.
and then they put Tom Brady in his place, and he threw for like 500 and something. Like, oh my God, he threw for so many. Like, look what Jameis did the year before. Like, now granted, he did throw.
Well, Tom completed more of the passes, so it didn't take as many to get downfield. You know,
True.
like it's
True.
if you throw 30 picks, it's going to take you at least an additional 7 passes per game to get that much farther down the field.
Listen, coach, if I throw 4 picks this game, that means we get 4 extra offensive possessions. You know what we could do with those 4 extra possessions?
Try to score.
Try to score.
Talking about the Bucs offense, I think they're going to have to run it a little bit more, just because they paid Leonard Fournette 3-year, $21 million. You don't pay a running back anything. It's only $7 million a year, but you still don't pay a running back anything unless you depend on him to be your number one, which I don't think the Bucs have had in a while. They've always had that rotation of Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, but I think it's finally his year. He's claimed it at the end of last season. It is his team. But good for him. I like Leonard Fournette ever since he trucked that dude at LSU when he was at LSU. And he just absolutely cracked that dude and just kept going out of bounds. That's one of my favorite runs. Not only that, but he also had 4 carries for like 290 yards. Like, what is it? Are you playing Madden? Like, come on.
Yeah, I literally thought he was a cheat code that year.
Yes. And
Yeah, he was.
Well, then
Yeah.
the best Leonard Fournette story still is when he was hurt that year and his ankle, he's all taped up, and he wasn't going to play against Florida. And they got into it in pregame, and he was talking shit. He's like, I'm playing. And then he had like 25 yards. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have played, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But all right, the last thing on the script is March Madness. It has been complete madness. Okay. So let's recap the Elite 8. Okay, first we've got number 2 Villanova and number 5 Houston. Villanova 55, Houston 44. Really good game. Houston could not shoot. The worst part of this is Villanova's guard going down. I think he tore his ACL or Achilles one. Done. Man, I hate that for him, but you know, Villanova find themselves in the Final Four again under Jay Wright.
Yeah, I thought it was a fairly boring basketball game. And I also feel like if you told Villanova before the game started and said, hey, guys, you're only going to score 55 points tonight, they think they're going to get their asses stomped because Houston's offense never looks that bad. Their offense is normally way hotter than that. They had a really, really off night, which that is a credit, I guess, probably to Villanova's defense. But Villanova's offense wasn't very hot either. I mean, you only score 55 points on the night. You're not doing much either.
Yeah, Houston made 1 3 all night. I mean, in a best of 7 series, I think Houston takes 6 of them, honestly. I mean, I thought they were going to whoop Villanova. Oh, man. We'll never know, so we can't argue it. But, man, I would take Houston all day. I actually took them in that game to win. Lost a little bit of money, but I mean, at the end of the day, I've never lost so much money as I have on Villanova. That's why I hate them. Because when I bet for them to win, they lose like in the first or second round. When I bet for them to lose, they win. Villanova's my arch enemy. I'll never cheer for them. I hate them. Houston should have won that game, they shouldn't have won that game, but they would win any other game.
Man, I'm telling you, Jay Wright is the difference. And I'll tell you about it when we get to our picks. We'll talk about it. Number 2, Duke beats number 4, Arkansas, 78-69. Last SEC team is gone. Hate to see Duke win, but
Love it.
his name Bancho. He is a freaking monster. I will say he is fun to watch. Like he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and it's also awesome for Coach K. Duke keeps going. The fairy tale's still alive. What a better way to go out than on top. Let's go, baby. I've never thought I'd ever say it, but let's go, Blue Devils.
That's the only reason why I want them to win the national championship, just for him to go out on top.
I'm never saying that.
Exactly. I mean, I absolutely cannot stand Duke as a diehard UK fan, but as a true sports fan, you cannot fanboy in times like this. You got to pull for, Coach K is probably the greatest college basketball coach of our time. We're never going to see anything like him again. We got to pull for him, man. I think it's their year, honestly, after seeing that. And I cannot wait to see the UNC Duke game in the Final Four. The gods aligned and gave us what we wanted. Let's go.
The first time ever.
So let's talk about UNC before we get there. Talk about the fairy tale. St. Peter's, number 15, the first Elite Eight, number 15 seed. Fuck the Peacocks. They finally lose. UNC beats them 69-49. UNC did not just feed the ball to Oscar. They did not just feed the ball to KJ Williams. They penetrated, and once their guard beat their guard, they kicked it to their big guy, and you can't double team then. And now you've got the 6'10 guy on the 6'7 guy solo, and it was a mismatch the entire game.
Oh, it was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah,
that was a North Carolina whooping that ass. They couldn't do nothing against them either.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we definitely see this with the Cinderella stories. Eventually, it runs out, right? The talent just ends up being a mismatch. Honestly, though, they beat Purdue, and Purdue has one of the biggest rosters in the league. They got a 7'3" kid from Canada.
Yeah.
They got a 6'1" kid, and they beat them. So it's a preach to North Carolina's offense. They did a lot more than just body them. They actually played a great game. And
well, that's what I mean.
And defensively, North Carolina did not let St. Peter's do anything.
Well, that's what I mean is Purdue, you would think if you've got Jaden Ivey, who's an NBA top 3 pick, let him beat this, not to be a 0-star recruit, let him beat him one-on-one in the paint. Now you have to suck him to you, and now you dish it to 7'3", big dude over there with the unibrow, and the slide protection is not their 6'8", 6'9" center. It's their 6'7" power forward one-on-one. Like, that's what I mean. Like, Purdue and Kentucky, Murray State didn't do it as much because they have guards more play, but them two just tried to bounce it in, post up, and then here comes a double team, and here comes a trap, and they couldn't do nothing. In North Carolina, credit to Herbie Davis for making those calls. Last Elite Eight game, Kansas, the only number 1 seed left, 76, Miami, 50. And Miami came out and had a good first half. And whatever Coach Self said in the locker room blew all that away. The Hurricane just died right when the whistle blew in the second half. It was that I turned that on. I turned it back on, and I thought, holy cow, and then I turned it back off.
Yeah.
That Hurricane looked about as strong as it does once it gets to about Kentucky from the Gulf, because it was pretty weak. Kansas stomped that shit out with a little tornado power they have from the Midwest, because it was ugly in that second half. Kansas looked very dominant.
Let's get to our brackets. Okay. Our picks.
Can we just skip this part?
Well, we're talking ugly. Okay. We'll start on the bottom. Okay. With 29 games correct and 38 points. ZA.
Oh,
Point this out, guys. I'm going to show you this because this is impressive. There ain't a blue color past the Elite Eight.
oh no.
So let's go to the second or third place. Okay, with 31 games and 45 points. He can still get 5 points here if Kansas wins.
Let's go, Kansas.
Miles, having one team left in the Final Four.
It's bracket. Come on. What is this?
In second place with 53 points and 38 games, myself. I cannot get any more points because I picked Kansas to lose. And in first place with 67 points, 31 games won, still can get 5 points. Pistachio.
Yeah, squad.
I tell you what, he has 2 of his Final Four teams left.
Oh, wow.
3, sorry, no.
Yeah, 3. Because
There's 3 blue marks.
there's 3 blue marks.
Oh, sorry, it's reversed on my screen. Sorry. Yeah, so you got champion UCLA is the one that's not there.
I know. I'm so upset because I picked them to win it all.
I tell you what, I
I'd
myself.
say Pistachio on that one.
Here's the thing: Pistachio only has 3 more wins than me, but has like 14 more points. Because look at mine; like the entire first round is blue, and then I completely lose out. Either way, I went from second place after round 1 and round 2 at work to 20th. So I am no longer winning the money. Final Four. Okay, you've got Kansas versus Villanova. Kansas, they got Remy Martin back, who's been huge. He's been getting them some points. Villanova, on the other hand, loses their second leading scorer last weekend, I guess. And, that's going to be tough. But the thing I like about Villanova there's this matchup, they're definitely not the most talented. And Villanova's never the most talented, to be honest with you. They always have a few second round, late first round picks. Maybe they'll have that one freak athlete. And then they've got the Italian point guard who leads the way. And, I love that about Villanova. On Kansas's side, you have the 5 stars, you got the height. Going to be a good game, I think. But what do y'all think about this game?
I think it's gonna be
Kansas. Mhm.
I think it's gonna be Kansas on top as well.
Oh, yeah. Kansas all day. I think I with the injuries, going to be too much for Villanova. I didn't like Villanova past the second round, obviously. I think Kansas probably going to end up whooping that butt.
I think
I've been wrong the whole time, though, so there's no telling.
So, hey, bet your mortgage of the week. We got to open that. We open it with Kansas at 4. I'm taking Kansas at the -4 for the win. I think they blow them out.
So here, I think it goes either one of 2 ways. It either goes a close Villanova win or a blowout Kansas win. I don't think there's any in between in that game.
The line's been moved to 4.5 now for Kansas. That means people are buying Kansas up, baby.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, Villanova, because I keep sucking, but I'm gonna pick you. Here we go. Jay Wright. And here's the thing I want to say when you shook your head. Jay Wright is gonna be not exactly us, but the generation below. He's the closest thing that there is right now. Him and Calipari are gonna be the Roy Williams and Coach K for their generation. All right. And I know Villanova isn't a sexy pick, but in the past 10 years, them in Connecticut both have 2 titles. Nobody else has 2. Duke can get 2 this year. UNC can get 2 this year. He's been to 4 Final Fours, 5 Elite Eights. And in the regular season, they've won like 80% of their games. That's up there with Coach Cal in the past 10 years, with Coach K. And I love Jay Wright. I know I've told you this. I'm a fanboy. But I think he is Mr. March of our generation, just because he takes teams you never think of and he always advances them. But like you said, they'll have a balling-ass squad and then they'll get put out in the round of 32. So
I feel the same way about Mark Few from Gonzaga. He's almost the exact same way.
See, Mark
So
Few.
you have the same points as me every time, man. I love it, dude.
Mark Few doesn't have a ring. Mark Few is the Green Bay Packers of college basketball. They're going to whoop up on their shittier conference, aka the Bears, the Vikings, and Lions, and they're going to get a real top seed because they have a really good record, and they're going to beat the 16 or 15 seed because they are better. They're playing their conference rated teams. Then they may beat another 8 or 9, 10 seed because they aren't bad. They're still a good squad. And then they play a tough team and they normally lose. Now, last year they did make this finals. I'm not saying,
but don't they have like the most Final Fours out of any team in the last like 10, 15 seasons, something like that? Most Elite Eights, and something like that.
it's like it's Sweet 16. I don't think it's Final Fours, but it is. He does have. No, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not a bad coach. I'm thinking they're all good, and he is just now getting 5 stars. I'll give him that. The past 10 years, it wasn't until like 4 years ago he's got a 5-star. But you know, he's that right on the edge every time. And once he catches it, I think he'll catch another one. But I think it's still just he's got to get that one.
Yeah, there's only one team I dislike more than Villanova, and that is Gonzaga because, they get 5 stars. How many 5 stars does St. Mary's got? Because that's their only competition all year long, and it drives me nuts, man. At least with Villanova, they're in a good conference. I mean, you got teams like Connecticut. You got Creighton that comes through. Marquette has good teams usually. I mean, Butler, Georgetown's having an off year right now, but usually they're good, man. I mean, you got a lot of good teams in that conference, and they definitely have something to prove where Gonzaga has nothing, man. Like they get a cakewalk every year. They go to the NCAA tournament, well rested. No, it blows my mind, dude. That
Number 1 overall seed a lot because they do dominate the conference,
And I don't know how they can get number 1 seed in that conference, but you got teams like Murray State only losing 2 games and probably an equal amount of competition conference.
St. Mary's.
Kind of, I don't know. Maybe that's a little extreme, but
St.
still.
Mary's is definitely the tip.
Man. I don't think Gonzaga should ever be a 1 seed like the way they get it, man. Like they're their overall number 1 seed this year. That was insane, man.
And they played Duke, and Duke smacked them, and that was their best team they played. Like, I don't know. And I like Gonzaga. Man, Adam Morrison was one of my favorite. The stash, the shots on the sideline because of his diabetes or sugar or whatever it was, man. He was such a college stud.
Yeah, college, that's it.
College. So, anyways, let's go to the next game. You mentioned it earlier. First time ever. Number 2 Dukies versus number 8 Tar Heels. It's a match made in heaven. It's even better than a Kentucky Murray State matchup. Rivals, Final Four, championship on the line. North Carolina just came into Cameron Indoor and smacked Coach K in his last game at the home place. And, man, it's going to be good. And I hate to say it, I want North Carolina to win, but I think that losing to them in that last regular season game is what's going to give them the edge, and I think they're going to take it.
Oh, it's Blue Devils all the way. I'm telling you, Krzyzewski's last year. The Stars have a line. Put the fucking devil horns on, baby. Blue Devils time. We're going to be raising pitchforks and all kinds of shit for Coach K after this game.
So what you're saying is the people who wrote the script just wrote Coach K in to win it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're saying. Exactly what I'm saying.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, dude, Coach K, one of the greatest coaches ever. I mean, I got Duke all day in this. There's one thing that you don't do with great coaches, and that's you play them earlier in the season where you get film on them. Because now Coach K's got that film on them. He knows exactly what they're all about. Dude, Coach K's going to win this game. They might blow them out as well. Duke right now is a 4.5-point favorite. I'm taking both of the favorites. I'm not riding the dogs of either one of these games. So let's go, Duke. Taking it all day.
Don't throw out Herbie Davis. Don't throw.
It's his first year. He'll be back.
He's his first year, but man, that dude, he has definitely righted the ship midway through the year. And they have, what's his name? What's that? The big guy for North Carolina, Annabot, Abercott, something like that. Dude, he had 20.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name.
Hey, Brett, what's the name? Brannick, that white dude from North Carolina?
Yeah, dude is raw, redhead.
Man. He's got a pure jumper. He can stroke it. He can stroke it.
Either way, so I'm going to go opposite again, man. I just can't pick them. Fuck the Dukies. All right, I still hate Leitner. North
Such a fan.
Carolina. North Carolina is going to do it. We're going to have an 8 seed against Villanova. Villanova, an 8 seed in the 85, the lowest seed to ever win it. Going to go against North Carolina. That's my pick. Going with the Wildcats. Villanova's going to win it. All because college basketball is about stories, and the boy got hurt, and they're going to do it for their teammate. They're going to win it for his ass.
Well, you can hope that. You can hope that. Yeah, all the way. I'm still going
Duke.
Blue Devils all the way. They're beating Kansas. Woo!
So, guys, that's our picks. We're going to end with 3 Dukies against the Wildcat. I'm sorry, Villanova. I probably just fucked you. So, but hey, don't worry. Y'all are all fucked too. That means that Villanova or Duke's not going to win it because ZA.
Is it possible that nobody wins because we're picking?
I'm here to lose your money, not mine.
Oh, wait. You don't want to mention one of the most popular sports in the world, soccer?
Oh, listen.
Well,
The United States men's national team did beat Panama yesterday, 5-1, and they're 1 game away, I'm pretty sure, from qualifying for the World Cup.
We finally have our all-time great and Pulisic. I don't know if I'm even saying his name right, but in the first time in American history, we have our all-time great, man. I'm so excited. I don't even watch soccer. I can even tell you 2 rules of soccer, but man, dude, I can't wait to watch the World Cup because we are going to win at least 2 games. I can't wait.
Listen, we're going to play.
If the Chicks were playing, we'd win.
Have you ever seen the movie Kicking and Screaming?
Yeah.
We don't have any Italians on Team USA. We're all right.
Get into the Italians.
Europe is going to whoop us so bad. We're not going to win it, but we will win the game.
They want to come play American football. I guarantee we win that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, best athletes in the world, baby. Bred off of McDonald's hormones burgers. Let's go.
Damn right.
Damn right. And Anavar pills, but yeah.
All right, guys. That's it. That's been fun. I love you. Bros out.
Later.